Woohoo! The A2A Comanche is finally here. They announced it on Discord earlier on. Click on the link, it takes you to the website. Click on the store and you'll see that there is a new Microsoft Flight Simulator section with one product, and there she is, the A2A Comanche. About $10 more than I was hoping she'd be, but it was a day one purchase for me no matter what. You'll probably get a Windows protected PC alert. Just ignore that, carry on, it's perfectly safe. Then you've got to pick the location. It recommends you put it in the community folder. You can do that, or you can put it straight into the main folder, but I wouldn't recommend that. So click install after confirming that you'll agree to the EULA, of course. And it doesn't take too long to install. Click the old finish button. Tidies itself up, and that's it. Next thing to do, fire up Microsoft Flight Simulator and get involved. Stunning looking aircraft. Now unfortunately these planes do not come ready baked, not even slightly. I'm hoping in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 that each plane will have their own setup configuration file, so it will only have the inputs, controls, switches and buttons that are actually present in the aircraft, instead of hundreds of unnecessary buttons and configurations and multiple inputs under different names. Such a nightmare. I forgot about this bungee control section thing. That's kind of cool. So it looks like I'm going to have to rebind everything, because at the moment what I thought would be my fuel is working the flaps. So we'll start off by twisting around and setting up the throttle controls in a way that sort of makes sense. And I think I quite like having the lever on the flaps, so I think I'll keep that and just tweak everything the way we need to. So my advice, take something that is similar, like I've got a 152 input for the Alpha flight controls. I took that and then I modified it to my needs. I tried to do the same thing on the Bravo, but I realised that the 152 is completely broken, so I'll be deleting that and creating a new one of those. It doesn't explain why I was having some problems the other week, but anyway, there's a lot of things, a lot of issues, as there always are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, stuff that should have been fixed years ago, but they just haven't fixed. For example, master battery switch. Doesn't matter what configuration you try, whether you put it on a toggle, whether you put it on activate, whether you physically have an on and an off switch, makes no difference at all. It will not work. So far I haven't been able to get the autopilot to work either, and I haven't been able to get the fuel pump to come on via a switch either. That's despite following all the logical steps, you know, binding it to fuel pump, active, fuel pump on off. None of these things seem to work. Is it a Comanche problem? Is it an A2A problem? Is it a Microsoft Flight Simulator problem? I'll be honest, I've had this problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator many times on totally different aircraft. So my suspicion is it's their problem. It's an Asobo issue that they just haven't fixed. And they probably don't care anymore because they're developing 2024. So yeah, you're going to spend a bit of time setting up your bindings and so on and so forth. If you would like me to put together a proper installation guide so I can show you what you can and what you can't set up, let me know in the comments and I'll put something together. Right guys, that awful noise. Whilst I'm looking around trying to figure out where the hell is that noise coming from, it's not the fuel pump, mate. It's not the radios. It's not the tip tanks. It's not the pitot heat. It's not the fuel pump. It's none of those things. It's because you've got your landing gear down. Excuse me, you've got your landing gear up when it should be down. So I apologise for that awful noise. It took me a little while to figure out what that noise was. Now, so don't forget to put your fuel tank selectors in the right position. I completely forgot to do this first time round. Oh, and I have another issue as well with the key on the Alpha Bravo unit, or the Alpha yoke unit. It will start the ignition, but it won't turn it off. So it'll just continue turning over. Woohoo! Have a little look outside, check the flaps, just a quick look, check the fuel. I know the fuel's going to be fine because it's a brand new aircraft. Checking the lights, taking the tie downs off. I meant to try and drive away with them on, I forgot to do it. But interestingly, my rudder pedal brake has got no spring, and although it used to be annoying, now it physically stops the aircraft. So you'll notice that we can't pull away straight away anyway. We're just going around checking this, that and the other. Excuse me, I'm not feeling 100%. The A2A team are going to reel in horror when they see what I'm trying to do to this plane. Obviously you shouldn't be doing a walk around with the propeller on. We're doing everything in the wrong order. But that's okay. It's a very, very first look, literally first time I'm taking it out. Move the pitot heat cover, that tie down, check the lights again, don't need to check the tip tanks, don't need to check the fuel. That aileron looks nice and loose, no problems. That flap looks nice and secure. Not entirely sure what I'm checking there if I'm being honest. Take the rear tie down off. I should really be checking the aileron, the flaps at the back and the rudder as well. Right, let's get our baggage on board. Bit quirky this. Don't know if there's a way to turn it off. Right, there's that horrible noise, but let's get to the runway and take off, shall we? And you can see, just as I'm coming onto the runway now, suddenly realised that my landing gear control was down, up rather, when it should have been down. Right, here we go then, first flight. Not going to mess about, we're not going to do any ATC, we're going to do some one stop and go, and then a full landing. But I'm going to just try and be so aggressive with this plane. Maximum throttle. I love how it bounces down the runway, and then exactly as described in the video, there's this a period where you're not flying but you're not off the floor. And you sort of have to take control, and we have got a crosswind coming in today, which definitely helped lean the aircraft over, but she's up, she's flying. Quite bumpy and buffety today. Good weather to test this plane out. Normally you have to have like third-party add-ons to get this sort of realistic effect, but it's baked straight into the A2A, so no big problem. I'm going to have to test it with other things and see how well it behaves with FS realistic and stuff like that. Feels good being back in this aeroplane. It feels different, I have to say. It feels like a different aircraft now. Obviously you've got the tablet there, which we'll have a proper look at as well at some point. And you've got some new engine interface information and the sensor panel there. I can't remember the name of that, apologies. I haven't read the manual yet. I'm going to have to do that. But yeah, lots and lots and lots to learn. Lots of good fun to be had. That's not me all over the place, that's just the wind You can really, really feel it in this aircraft. This is not a running on rails aeroplane. It feels so much more alive than any other plane I've flown in Microsoft Flight Simulator so far, and I love it. I do feel like my seating position is maybe a little bit too far back. I'm not sure if you agree. Or a little bit too high up maybe, I'm not sure yet. I'll have a little play around with it and see how I feel. And it's quite a small aircraft. Also got no head tracking, so I'm kind of guessing as and when to turn into the runway a bit. There we go, full flaps, out of nowhere, within the speed constraints. But we're just going to throw it down on the runway, super hard. I mean, we're not going to try and crash, but we're not going to try and be like casual, almost like an emergency landing. Makes such a difference not having head tracking. Here we go. By that time the horrible buzzing was because I hadn't put the gear down. Less than perfect landing, I think you'll agree. We'll go round again and we'll do the same thing. This time I'm going to leave the landing gear down the whole way round. We have a little friend at the end of the runway as well. Hello, nice to see you. Hoping that was AI and not a proper player. Because I am literally trying to break either the flaps or the landing gear. Something, anything, part of the engine. But unfortunately the aircraft I'm flying today is in a brand new configuration state. What I'm going to do, I've got an 𝗦𝘂𝗬𝗂 company that I play on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I think what I'm going to do is buy this aircraft and fly it in that, but I'll buy it as a, as a sort of beat up, broken up second-hand airplane, even though it's going to cost me 400,000 to buy it. But there you go, nature of the beast. It's a very fast aircraft. Momentarily considered landing on that runway instead. But the what we're going to do in this particular video is try and break the aircraft. That was my plan. First time I ever flew the Comanche from A2A in FSX. I think they'd intentionally left a dirty spark plug or something And I took off, we spluttered, the engine stalled, we killed over, and I crashed the aeroplane. That didn't happen this time, so I think they've taken that out of the loop. What you can do is you can select your aeroplane to be brand new, which is a bit unrealistic, used or traded, I think is the other thing. So basically three levels of condition: absolute mid condition, used condition, and old condition. So let's get out on the runway, and I'll do everything within my power to break this aircraft today. Alright, so we're just getting ourselves lined up. Really got to get my head tracking sorted out for this. It's a nightmare without it. First notch of flaps. Alright, I think we can probably swing round from this angle. Get the flaps down. Still is a marvel flying around in this game and seeing actual areas that I recognise. Still incredible what they've done. And I shall hold 𝗬𝐿𝐴 in high praise forever for that. Much lower praise for actually fixing the most simple of bugs and issues. I think I've overstretched myself there slightly. And we're coming in really fast and really high. Good opportunity to really slam that. Oh, look at the crosswind. All over the place. Oh no, I think I'm trying to slip it. Struggling to do so actually. Not sure I've got the throttle all the way back is part of the problem. There we go. So I think I still had RPMs at about 1500, which was not intentional. That was a mistake. Definitely coming in fast. Double bounce fairly hard. Oh, up on two wheels. Now that is my rudder pedal brake automatically putting itself on. I've got to try and fix that or replace it. Annoyingly, it was like that when I got it out of the box. I should have complained back in the day, but it's a long time ago now. Alright, we'll take her back, we'll park her up, and we'll take her over the rough ground and see if that does any damage to the landing gear as well. Take the headphones out there so you can really hear it. All the bouncing and bopping and knocking and banging. Right, let's park her up and let's try and have a little look-see here. See if we did manage to break anything. The engine should be fine, bearing in mind it's a brand new engine. I didn't really do anything to break it. Oh yeah, no damage at all. Bit disappointing. I thought we would have done at least a small amount of damage. Maybe we have done a small amount of damage, but it's not enough damage to the point where it's actually going to cause a problem. But yeah, maybe we've done 0.1% damage, something like that. Because they were pretty heavy landings, intentionally so, but obviously not enough to completely destroy it. I was genuinely trying to break either the flaps or the undercarriage. Managed to break none of it, which is a little disappointing. So maybe we'll have another go, but I just wanted to get out a quick first look. So guys, A2A Comanche is out now. There's a few issues with it, but I'll take a proper look at it, go through the manual and put up some proper flights in the coming days and weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Go and get your copy right now. Until next time, take care. Goodbye for now.